Hi and welcome back to Escapades with Emma. I'm Emma, as you may have gathered, and today we're visiting the breathtaking, historic UNESCO World Heritage Site, the castle and ramparts of the medieval city of Carcassonne.
Carcassonne is a city in the south of France in Occitanie, located about 80 kilometers east of Toulouse.
Not exactly sure how to get to the old city. I'm following signs. And the view, really. Sandals may not have been the most astute shoe choice. It's breathtaking, not just because it's really, really beautiful, but also because it's a climb to get here.
The city of Carcassonne is a medieval fortress with a castle, also known as le Chateau Comptal, and 2 layers of ramparts to protect the citadel. Today we are visiting the castle and the ramparts surrounding the city, which after a major restoration which began in 1853, became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997.
It was a walled city built in Roman times on the top of a hill, as you do, to protect it. As far back as they can tell, some of the buildings started being built around the year 1000, and then the castle itself was built by the Viscounts of Carcassonne in the early 12th century. The history of this place sort of centers around some crusades that began in 1209. Because Catharism was growing, Cathars, also known as the Albigenses, so that was the Albigensian Crusade. The Viscount who was here was tolerant of heresy, as how they put it. So they wanted to make some examples, and it was Pope Innocent III who thought that they should go after those, providing a safe haven for heretics. So it was Philippe Auguste, the King of France, that decided to sort of authorize this and got some of his barons to take part in this holy war. They laid siege to the castle here in 1209, and it fell to the Crusaders. In 1226, the son of Philippe Auguste, which was Louis VIII, put a seneschal in place here, an officer of justice. And it was about that time, they think, that they built a fortified castle around the palace of the Viscounts.
After a failed attempt by the son of Raymond Roger Trencavel's son to reconquer his old domain in 1240, the castle was further fortified with more ramparts. The second wall around the city was built under Louis IX and his successor, Philippe III. This was an important military location, as the fortress was located between France and the Crown of Aragon. After the Treaty of the Pyrenees shifted the border province of Roussillon to France, Carcassonne's military significance was reduced, and the fortress fell into disrepair. Thankfully, in 1853, a major restoration was undertaken.
The little audio guide is hosted or narrated by Violet Ledoux, who is Ledoux? I'm not sure. Anyway, he is the man responsible for one of the most sizable restorations in European history, which was of this place. See what he has to say. So we're about to go on to the hoardings. Now these were temporary at the time. They keep them up currently, but because they were made of wood, they were susceptible to fire. So they would be protected with wet animal skins and put up in a hurry if there was any kind of conflict. They had these holes, known as loopholes, so that archers could fire through them, and then holes down here where they would pelt rocks at their assailants. Now, the tour would like me to stress that boiling oil was not a thing that was thrown, nor was boiling water, because it was too valuable at the time. So they just used rocks and try to conk them on the head. So these are words I thought I'd never say together, but apparently there was some sort of roofing controversy around the decisions made in the late or mid 1800s to restore this place. So you can see here the pointed slate roofs, and those used to be the same over here as well for the city ones, but they were replaced with the more Roman U-shaped tiles there. And eventually sort of the guy who had been doing this initially was proven right, but they had already replaced them sometime in the 60s. So they just sort of passed that off as showing the different variations that have left through time. So coming through here, you get to see some examples of Gothic and medieval stonework like this. And then there's also the covers of different sarcophaguses, or sarcophagi, I don't know. But it moved from being just sort of a coat of arms to being more of an effigy to this from the 13th century, which was called a recumbent statue. And it is meant to reflect what the person did in their day-to-day life. So this one has clearly a knight in his chainmail. I've always wanted to come here, well, probably in the last 10 years, 12 years, because my mom was always talking about coming here because of a book written by Kate Moss, or Mossy, not sure how you pronounce it. Anyway, it's called Labyrinth, and I decided to start reading it. So I've been reading little bits of the book while I'm in the castle. It's a bit of a heady experience. Also, some of you may not be familiar with Carcassonne because of this, but because of a board game. And I was really thrilled to see that they actually sell the board game and the kids' version of the board game in the gift shop here. That'll do it for our visit to the Ramparts and Castle of Carcassonne, the medieval castle. So if you like this, please let me know in the comments or with a thumbs up. And subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again soon.